Should people be concerned about the conditions in prisons? I'm here with Ellen Willert, and I'm Kathy Bertolli from theintimacydojo.com, and I understand you minister at some prisons, and what I've read is just some of it's just horrible. So I'd love to be more informed and hear your actual. I haven't been to a prison, and I would love to hear what your experience was.
Yeah, so it was something I did quite a bit last year, up in Massachusetts. My sort of avenue in was as a mentor for incarcerated individuals who were participating in a degree behind bars program through Boston University. So, and then through my schooling at Andover Newton Theological School, I had the opportunity and the ability to partner with that and go into the prisons and help mentor and visit and provide emotional support.
Thank you for that labor, yeah.
So, and so I have to say what I got to see and what I got to witness is literally the best conditions. It's the lives of the incarcerated individuals who within that system would be considered quite privileged with a lot of opportunity. And it is really horrifying. It is really terrifying. And I come up against a lot of sort of, well, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime attitude, which there's so many reasons why that's wrong. But I think what people really need to realize first and foremost is that 90% of people who are incarcerated right now are going to be re-released into society. And so, yeah. Even if you're a sort of tough on crime person who wants to lock people away, realize they're going to, after they serve their time, they are going to be re-released. And who do we want coming back into society?
Are we traumatizing them or making them?
We absolutely are traumatizing. So do we want someone who's traumatized and angry and incapable of relating to people in a healthy way, who's suffering from post-traumatic stress in a lot of cases, has not had the opportunity to have an education, has not had the opportunity to work and earn a living wage, doesn't have an income, now has a criminal record and no ability to get a job. There's 120 trade professions that require a license or certification that if you've been convicted of a felony or in prison, you're ineligible to get.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and when we talk about high recidivism rates, a lot of people who wind up back in prison after being released, it's not because they reoffended or committed another crime. They're back because they violated parole. And so much of the time, the parole violation was they couldn't find a job. It's a condition of their parole to be employed.
But if you can't get a job because you're in prison and then you go, it's a catch-22, it's not going to work.
Right. So it's this. So then they're back in jail because they couldn't find a job because we won't allow them to work because they've been in prison, and on and on and on and on and on. It's just an imbalanced system. Based on economics. The rich get richer, the poor go to prison. That's the name of a great book everyone should read. And because of economic disparity, this tends to break down along racial lines.
Yes, and that's. I've seen some of the statistics, and it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It really is. So yeah, people are interested in this. Books, The New Jim Crow, The Rich Get Richer, the Poor Get Prison. Again, I'm going to say Dignity by Donna Hicks. By the end of the introduction, you will understand why there's the violence in prison and the problems in prison that there are. And the system is set up not just to be punitive of someone who's been an offender or been perceived as committing a crime, but punitive of really all of their family and all of their relations and all of their relatives. And it's really hard to go visit someone in prison, even for someone like myself coming from a seminary, coming for a supportive visit like that. No jewelry. I could wear my wedding ring. That was it. I couldn't wear my glasses because it would have required getting a doctor's note to clear the security. No blue jeans. The corrections officers, if the guards felt your pockets were too big, they could say, no, that doesn't meet our dress code. No underwire bra. If that sets off the metal detector, they strip search the person coming to visit. You know, it's just all kinds of things that just discourage the people who would be the support systems and the families and from going. It's just it is such a hassle just to get in. And there's one as I was going through security to visit the person I was going to visit, there was a woman and probably an 18-month-old child going to visit, who I found out was the child's father. And my younger child is a special needs child, so he was older at the time, but probably developmentally about 18 months old. And I was thinking about how hard it is, or how hard it was at that time, just to go to the grocery store. Never mind going to a prison, Yeah, just to go to the grocery store and have him sit in a cart and do my shopping that I would put it off. I'd wait until my husband was home or my mom could help me or any of my number of support people could stay with my child so I could go do this simple errand. Yeah. And I know what a difference that made in my life. And then I'm watching this woman all alone whose primary partner and co-parent for this child is the person she's trying to visit, and she has to manage this all alone. This child who doesn't understand, they have to stand in one spot.
I don't stand well in one spot, so
no, I don't either. So why do they have to take their shoes off so the guards can look at them? Why do they have to? Why are there strangers touching them? Why do they have to be quiet? Why can't they just be a child? And then one little thing goes wrong. There's a mom has a hair clip that she's not supposed to have, and now they can't visit, or they can't.
Oh, they don't even let them visit after they've gone through that.
It depends. I mean, if they know if they just are feeling grumpy, or they know the person is not the first time, they haven't met the dress code, they can turn people away from the visit. But even when they don't, I remember this day watching this woman and her child clear security, and just I knew how much she was going through and how much mental energy and physical energy she was putting into just being able to allow this child to see their father for 20 minutes. And then when she leaves, she's all alone and still has to do
She's supposed to take care of the kid,
with that child.
Well, I've not been to prisons, but I've been to the hospital to visit sick people, and I know that I come out, I'm completely depleted, and I didn't have to be strip searched or take care of a small child. I know I went home and I was like, that was stressful. The energy was stressful. I couldn't imagine doing that and having to go to take care of a kid and get a job and take the bus back to my home. That would just seem. It would seem very punitive to the family as well.
Yeah, and it's just a stripping away of dignity, and sort of the goal of prison is to make people feel less than human.
But then you set them out in the spectrum to act human again. It doesn't work that way. Humans don't work that way.
Get sobbed and do the whole thing. And one of the people I visited regularly, I realized he's still in prison. I think he will actually be eligible for parole later this year. He will have spent more than half of his life, and pretty much his entire adult life, incarcerated. He was sent to prison at 19, and one of the things I realized when I would walk in and wait for him, and he'd come down to the visitor's room, and I'd give him a hug, and I'm a big hugger. I'm a really physical person. I love hugs, and I timed it, and if a hug lasts about a minute and a half, guards get really, really grumpy, and
but these people they're not getting a lot of touch. Otherwise, it's safe and caring.
None. I realized this is the only physical attention or affection or touch this person gets is a minute and a half when I arrive and a minute and a half when I leave. once a month, and that's it for his entire adult life.
That seems cruel and unusual.
It is absolutely inhumane. And again, this is someone who I only had access to because he was a student pursuing a degree behind bars. This is
one of the privileged people
living the most privileged existence you can in prison. And also in this particular correction institute, I'm probably get myself in a lot of trouble for sharing this, but I'm going to anyway because people really need to know. This particular institute also has a program where inmates train service animals, like dogs, to be service animals, and the dogs are great. They're always enjoying the sea, and the inmates who do it really have a sense of purpose and a sense of like it's really good for them. The water quality of the water that's available in the prison, that the inmates cook with, that the inmates shower with, that the inmates have available for them to drink, is so bad that they order and ship in bottled water for the dogs because the water quality isn't good enough for the service animals.
Wow. But not for the humans. Yeah.
But not for humans.
Wow.
And that's at one of the best correctional institutes with some of the best programs and the best opportunities for inmates in America right now. And that's before we even talk about ICE detention and families being separated.
Yes, and giving them to traffickers, like, oh, yes, of course you should have these people, these children. No.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's without even talking about people who are innocent, who under our system are innocent because they haven't even gone to trial and they can't afford bail.
Yeah. Wow. Ellen, thank you so much for sharing this and helping people have access to information about that. And thank you for being willing to walk in there. And you know, I want to help, and I also feel like it would be very traumatic to be there. So thank you for your courage.
I wasn't sure I could do it. I do have a real fear of being trapped and not being able to get out of places. I honestly wasn't sure I could do it. But once I got in there and once I started interacting with the individuals there, I mean, we build these walls and we build this barbed wire and we try and just not look at
just
what
pretend
we don't
it's
want to see.
Yeah.
I honestly, I mean, I think I encountered the light of God brighter in so many of the people there than out in the world. And it's like, not only are we harming the people we have incarcerated, we're harming ourselves.
Yes.
Because these are beautiful human beings with so much to offer who just need some opportunity and need some care and need some compassion. So we're very much harming all of society with the way we're handling this. So it's been a real privilege for me to be able to do it, and I'm looking forward to being able to do it again.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate taking the time to share with us.
No problem. Happy to. Can't wait to see you in August.
Yes. No, I'm looking forward to it.